We've talked about prehistory, broken into two parts: Paleolithic, Old Stone; Neolithic, New Stone. And in Neolithic, of course, we have agricultural development. So now our new notes are going to be on ancient Mesopotamia, the first civilization to begin because of agricultural development. Okay, first of all, why? Why does it form? Well, because, as you can see here, it's on two rivers, and you need rivers to grow crops. So we have the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers, and this is where we have a rock today. So rock is the bedrock of civilization. So as you can see, the flooding is going to help the farming, and people are going to settle again on the rivers. What kind of things do you want to put in your notes? This, and one of these, just so you know that people settled because of the water. Okay, so if you're going to have people living in one area, you need to have government. And governments are going to help coordinate people, and when people come together, they're going to start having inventions such as the pottery wheel, so you can make containers; the wheel, so you can bring things from the river to where you're living. And we're going to develop the Bronze Age, into the Bronze Age, which is, the bronze is easier to make tools and weapons. And you're also going to make things for planting, such as plows, hoes to dig the ground. Plows also dig the ground, and of course weapons to protect you. 3, and on your notes you should be doing either bullets under 3 or A, B, etc. The Sumerians are the people who are going to live in Mesopotamia. And they're going to come there at 4000 BCE. So if you think about it, 4000 BCE, and if we're 2013, 4000 plus 2000 is 6013 years ago. And the area is called the Fertile Crescent. This literally is in what we call kind of a U shape, which is a crescent, like a crescent moon. And they're going to develop places of worship called the Ziggurat, which is also a town hall. I'll see it in a second. And that is the Ziggurat right there. And it's shaped somewhat like a temple you're going to see in Egypt and later in Central and South America. It's aiming towards the heavens. Okay, 4, and then again A, B, C, etc. They have to come up with political and social organizations. Social is how people interact. Political is the government. So they form city-states. City-states are all in Mesopotamia, but they all have independent governments rather than countries. City-state would be if Virginia, or even better if Alexandria was its own independent government. Alexandria would be a city-state. And they're going to bring people together to buy products, have religion, going to have the military, the armies, and a way to punish people and keep order. They're also going to develop language. Language is going to develop first because they want to keep the supply of products. They want to keep a record of what's sold and what's bought. And this area is going to have a population of 70,000 people. So it's a rather large place. Okay, it's going to have a social structure, as you can see, and you want to write this down. On top, you have the rulers, and then the priests. The rulers and the priests are always up top. The priests are up top in part because they can read, and because they're the way that we communicate with the gods. Right below them, though, the merchants. The merchants are the people who trade the products. Artists and scribes. Scribes are also very educated because they can write. They're the ones who keep the history and keep the records. Then you have the peasants, who are the poor farmers, and below them you have the slaves. Okay, now number 5, and again A, B, C. What are they going to grow? Wheat and barley. These are bread products. Vegetables. They're going to make jewelries. Textiles are clothing made by artisans, people who are skilled, and leatherworking, of course, making straps and boots and things like that. And then the cities are going to have the markets again in and around the ziggurat, and ziggurat, remember, is that structure. Okay, by 2000 BCE, 4,013 years ago, they're going to be trading as far away as Egypt and India. When we get to those regions, you'll see how far away that is. Now, number 6, they're going to invent writing, which we're going to get to in a second. It's called cuneiform. I'll get it spelled in the next one. The writing, again, is so they can keep records. They're going to use the writing and the trading to spread their culture. They're going to come up with something very important called an epic poem. The epic poem is a huge, long poem that's well known called the Epic of Gilgamesh. And they're polytheistic. Polytheism, or being polytheistic, is a key term this year. It means you believe in multiple gods. So Islam, Christianity, for example, Judaism believes is monotheistic, one God. They are polytheistic, and they look to the gods for controlling the rain, the sun, etc. And here you can see the steps that go up the ziggurat. All right, so science and technology, number 7. Again, I just mentioned it. The writing is called cuneiform. And the amazing thing about cuneiform is we've never, to this day, been able to break the code. We don't know what it's saying. It's written on clay. If you recall, we needed a pottery wheel. Well, the pottery wheel can help develop, or they invent a pottery wheel. Pottery wheel is going to help make the clay. Scribes are going to write. They also have math. It's based on 60. So 60 minutes, 360 degrees. Think about the world. We did a longitude and latitude. Longitude was 180 degrees east and 180 degrees west. 180 plus 180 equals, yes, thank you, Sumerians, 360. Okay, and that's what cuneiform looks like. It's symbols, it's not letters. Again, we know some things, but we don't know how to understand it all. There's more cuneiform, and that would be on pottery, scratched into it. Okay, they're going to decline because of invasions, but also because they don't know how to rotate the crops, and so eventually too much salt is going to get in the land, and so the soil is not going to be usable. And as I said, the second one is invasions. And the first person who is going to, big person to invade, is an Akkadian, or from Akkad, and his name is Sargon. And he is going to keep the culture of Samaria, even though he's not from the area. And he's going to combine the Sumerian and Akkadian people. But Sargon's empire of the Akkadians is going to decline eventually because of infighting, meaning too many people within the Akkadian culture are going to be fighting each other, and because of famine. Famine is starvation, not enough food. Second person who invades are the Amorites. The big name you're going to have to remember this year is Hammurabi, who is going to once again unite the city-states. Remember that word, city-states, a little civilization, all within Sumer, all between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. He believes in setting up what's called Hammurabi's Code, C-O-D-E. You want to get that down, C-O-D-E, which means his rules. And they're pretty tough because he believes in an eye for an eye. So to speak, if you punch someone's eye out, then your eye should be punched out. And so that's how he controls the people, by tough punishments. Next person, the group is going to invade are the Assyrians, and they're warriors, meaning they're very military in nature, and so they're built for invading. They do bring engineering with his skills to math skills to build bridges and walls. And finally, we're going to do all these groups later, but the Phoenicians, who are going to develop the first written alphabet, and the Hebrews are also going to come in to the area. And that's it.